Hey team, this is Brian Daniel with the Celebrity PA Network, which is located online at findcelebrityjobs.com. And because of overwhelming demand, I have decided to create this sort of crash course about becoming a personal assistant to celebrities, billionaires, high net worth families. This video is part one of three. So let's get started. So the PPT that I'm using to guide me through these videos is available in the link. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly go through the table of contents. You can pause it if you want to see something close up. Part 1A, Part 1B, Part 2A, Part 2B, Part 3. So here we go. Part 1, which will be video 1. You'll see here in the PPT there are hyperlinks where you can click and get more information. Those links will also be in the description of the video. Or again, if you want to download the original PPT that you can have on your computer, then you just click the links and it takes you to my website to get additional information. So about me, Brian Daniel, who am I? I've had many titles: personal assistant, private secretary, executive assistant, chief of staff, estate manager, lifestyle manager, and so on. So I've had my own agency for 20 years, okay? I'm going in my 20th year right now, and I'm recording this video in April of 2026. And 10 years before I had my agency, I was a PA to celebrities, billionaires, American aristocracy, and so on. And then here in these links, you can click and see pictures of me on assignment all over the world. How I became a staffing agent. So you might be asking yourself, oh, wow, I mean, why would you want to quit a job like that? Well, we're going to talk about it. Many years of breakneck speed led to burnout. From about '05 to '07, did 2 years with the Royal Saudi family, where you're basically working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. And it just, nervous breakdowns, going to the hospital with an IV in your arm. It's very taxing emotionally and physically. I had visited several domestic staffing agencies after my Royal Saudi assignment ended, and I was just horrified, honestly, with the arrogant behavior and the posturing. And so I said to myself, there's a better way to do private staffing, domestic staffing, household staffing, whatever you'd like to call it, and that's why I started my own agency. Okay. Let's talk about working with celebrities. What is a celebrity? Look at the root word, celebrate. Celebrities are celebrated people, not just actors. So when people are typically thinking of personal assistants, they think of celebrity assistants and the Hollywood crowd. But the fact is that makes up probably less than 1% of the personal assistant jobs that are out there. So as I say here, take the path less traveled. Think of billionaires, CEOs, book authors, sports figures, industry influencers. There are people in every corner of the world. I'm in the United States, so I primarily am talking about the American job market, but these rules, philosophies, guide, whatever you'd like to call them, they're worldwide, they're universal. You got to know the vocabulary. What does high net worth actually mean? this is very misunderstood. Even people in our industry disagree about this. Technically, high net worth means $1 million net or liquid. Let's break it down. High net worth, ultra high net worth individual, ultra high net worth family. Ultras are people with ultra high net worth, which would be 30 million net and up. How to write high net worth. Some people are confused about this. He has high net worth. He is a high net worth individual. She is an ultra high net worth individual. So if you want to click this link down here, I get into this in great detail. The short version is with hyphens or without hyphens has to do if it's a noun or an adjective. High net worth statistics. According to Forbes, there are now more than 3,000 billionaires in the world, and they employ small armies of staff, chefs, yacht crew, assistants, housekeepers, nannies, bodyguards, and so on. You can go to my website, and there's actually a list of all the different jobs inside households. So if you have a passion for cooking and you're a chef, you don't have to be just a PA to work for a high net worth family. There's a lot of different things you can do. There's even something called a governess, which is the next level up from a nanny, where you're educating the children. It would take a lifetime just to apply to all the billionaires. So there are so many jobs out there. It's unbelievable. Think worldwide of how many thousands of professional athletes there are. I mean, it's unbelievable. This is a documentary I recommend. Even though we're in the year 2026, you can click this link and see CNBC's documentary about rise of the super rich. Starting 06, 07, 08, there was a huge explosion of billionaires and it hasn't stopped. So watching this documentary gives you a very good insight into the explosive growth of the super rich. It's still very relevant today. I watch it once a year because I just love it. Who works for high-profile people? The depth and breadth of the global wealth is just staggering. Again, there are more opportunities than ever before in history to be a private service professional. It's not private sector. People say, oh, I work in the private sector. Everything is private sector. That's not public sector, meaning public office like politics. So if you're going to be in the business, you have to get all the vocabulary right. And there's a whole glossary on my website, findcelebrityjobs.com. You can go to the sitemap. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resources. And you can learn more about private service professionals by clicking the link. And again, it will also be in the description. How to identify prospective employers. Okay, so now that we know wealth is everywhere and there are more opportunities than ever, let's examine how you can put yourself into the equation. So if there are about 1,000 billionaires in the US, there are only about 100 in New York City and much less in San Francisco and LA. So that means high net worth people are in every single state. Billionaires, there are 20 million millionaires, 50,000 households with net worth between 50 and 500 million in the USA. It's unbelievable. So if you end up watching these videos and you decide you want to do some in-depth coaching with me, career coaching, I will teach you how to get the business addresses for the celebrities and how to send your resume and what you should say in the cover letter and all that good stuff. Working with staffing agencies. There are two categories. I'm going to oversimplify it. There are two categories. Domestic staffing or household staffing, and then corporate. Okay, so anything that would be private staffing could be called private staffing, household staffing, or domestic staffing, which is what I do. I'm in the private service industry. So we're staffing mega mansions and super yachts and so forth. Okay, the pros and cons of using agencies. For employers, it's very convenient and you get vetted turnkey candidates. The cons are it's expensive and the agents might coach and poach. There are some dishonest agents out there. We do everything above board at my agency, but you can go to my website and there is a facts page for both employers and candidates about the advantages of using our agency. Landing your dream job takes a 360-degree approach. So if you take a look at this graphic here, if you do private career coaching with me, because maybe you're already in private service, you want to elevate your career, or you want to pivot and get into private service, this is everything I cover with you. And if you go to my website, I break it down. There are 50 different talking points of things that I discuss with you. And here are some links to additional resources on my website so you can get yourself started. Okay, so that concludes part 1, video 1 of this presentation. And if you want to continue learning, you can check out videos 2 and 3. Hope this helps. And again, you can go to findcelebrityjobs.com to learn more.